Hello and welcome. Tonight, I want to talk to you about us humans and how we relate to the whole universe and how we can understand better the importance of applying the universal laws and also how we can apply one specific law, the law of transmutation of energy. So let's get started. Before we start talking about the laws, about the universe, let's talk about us. Let's talk about who are we? If I ask you who you are, what are you thinking? I will tell you what most people are saying. And I put on this slide the exact things that many people are identifying with right away, but we are actually not them. We're not these things. So let's look first at who or what we are not. We are not our bodies. We are not our brain either. The brain is just an organ that processes information at the body level. We are also not our minds. And surprise, we are not our names. Even though many people identify themselves with their names. If I ask you who you are, you're going to tell me, I am John, I am Mary, nice to meet you. But the truth is, we're just using those expressions out of habit because we do not truly identify with our names, and we are not that. So we don't identify with them on a solid basis, and you'll see. Also, we are not other people's opinions of us, right? If some people think we're very smart, that doesn't reflect our essence. If they think the opposite, that we're not as smart, that doesn't reflect us either. We are also not our character. We're not our paradigm. We're not our personality. We're not our habits. We're not our values. We are none of that. Those are things that we have learned. We have accumulated, we have created strong programs based on these things, but we have learned them since we were born. So we are not this. This is not us. Also, many people have the tendency to say, I am a doctor, or I am a lawyer, or I am a coach, right? And I just want to tell you that that's your profession. That's your passion. That's what you do. That's not who you are. So I want to start from the get-go with just putting the emphasis on making the big difference between what we have, what we can do, what we know, what we do in general, and what we are. So looking at you, I want you to literally become aware of this difference between I have, I can, I am, and I do. And which one is the important one? I am. Yes, I am. It's what represents our essence. I am. So we are not all these things that we talked about. Now, let's see, what are we instead? What truly are we? We are pure energy. We are the creators of our own reality. We are co-creators of this life experience, this time-space continuum we are in right now, yes? We are creatures that can reason. We can think logical thoughts. We have power of choice. We are a very important part of this universe. As Abraham Hicks says, we are on the first front line of the expansion of the universe. That is huge. We are creatures capable of imagining things, and we can also transmute energy. At the same time, we are both masculine and feminine energy together. We are, in essence, what we call our higher self, what we call the one consciousness, the divinity. We are that, and that is in us. Therefore, we are what we are. And because we are so special, and truly you are very special, and I want you to know that tonight and every single moment of your life. Let's look a little deeper into this. These creatures that we are right now exist on 3 levels at the same time: the mental level, the physical level, and the spiritual level. And I've created image of this human mind related to the body. And you see a big heart right there in the chest. And I'll tell you all about that, right? So let's take them one by one. We have the mental level of our existence, of right here and now. Our minds are not the same as our brains. Our brains are just organs that process information at the body level, which is the physical level. So we're going to talk about that level next. But right now we are at the mental level. What is the mind? Is this intangible part of us? It's consciousness that gets connected to everything else that exists, right? So our minds are formed of 3 parts: conscious, subconscious, and supra or superconscious. Now, we also have the body. We exist in our bodies. We habit our bodies. We live in them, right? It's our home for this life experience. What is the body? Well, the body is a tool of the mind. What does that mean? Well, that means that the mind controls the body. At the conscious mind level, we have rationale. We think logically. We take decisions. We can discern. I want that. I don't want that. We can say yes or no at the conscious mind level. At the subconscious mind level, we cannot say no to anything. Everything that we are exposed to gets absorbed like a very, very absorbent sponge is this subconscious mind. Everything gets absorbed into our subconscious mind. Through repetition, at the subconscious mind level, we are formed with programs. We have programs, base programs on which we function. We call these programs habits, we call them beliefs, we call them values. And normally they are formed in the first years of our lives, first 7 years. The first 7 years, we do not have conscious mind developed. So then we have subconscious and supraconscious. What is this supraconscious? I made it blue because it's my favorite color. The supraconscious mind, it's this part of our mind that allows us to connect to the quantum space, to the divinity. It's this part that connects us to God or to the universe, however you want to call it. It is the same energy. So when we are born, when we are children under 7 years old, we have subconscious mind, we have supraconscious mind, and we can connect with those. And so the subconscious mind, though, becomes very, very strong as time progresses in our life. And it gets to the point where studies show that it controls 95% of our behavior. Very, very important. How do we act? Where is the action coming from? It comes at the mind level, but also when we take a decision at mind level, we tell the body a command to do something. So the mind commands the body. The body is a tool of the mind. The mind, it's also where our emotions reside. So in the subconscious mind, it's our emotional mind. This is where the emotional commands go towards the body from, right? So then the body acts. We always, studies show clearly, we act based on emotion, not based on logical thought as we like to believe, yes? So this is the physical level on which we live. We have the body. And then we have the spiritual level, which it is here represented in this image by the supraconscious mind. And it is also represented by the heart. The heart. And I'm not talking about the heart as an organ that pumps blood, right, in the body, because that's, again, just like the brain, that's at the body level. I'm talking about the heart represented in this image at the chest level, which is where there's the energetical center, the connection between mind, body, and divine consciousness that we have access to. And now there are studies done showing that maybe, there's lots of neurons, there's lots of information, lots of processing happening at the gut level too. So when I represent the heart, I'm actually representing this whole energetical center, which is our chest. And it can be heart included, right? As physical heart, but it can also represent the gut level as well. So I hope this is clear so far. We exist on these three levels at the same time. So what are we truly? We said that we are energy, and we are consciousness energy. Yes, there is one consciousness all over in everything that exists. The energy is the component of everything there is in our universe. We are energy. However, many people have this tendency of thinking of energy as being something that it's, material, like the pen and the phone and things that we can see, that we can touch. However, our thoughts, our emotions, our ideas, it's also energy. Emotion, love, it's energy. Pain, it's also energy, right? The only difference is that they vibrate at different frequencies, but they're all energy. More than this, it's all energy in movement. Everything moves, nothing stagnates. And all this energy moves at different frequencies in all around us in this universe, including us, right? If we look at skin, if we look at anything under a very strong, very powerful microscope, then we can see that everything is formed of little particles in movement. So we talked about the universe. Let's see, what is the universe? According to NASA, the universe includes everything that we know and things that we do not know. It includes all the solar systems, the space, the matter, the energy, everything that's in between matter, right? That's non-matter. It includes literally everything. That includes us, includes our thoughts, our ideas, and our emotions. So if we have this big entity that is the universe, we do not conceive, we do not know the end of the universe, right? We do not know its limits. We know it's limitless. There has to be a set of laws that can govern this whole universe. And that's right. There are 12 natural, spiritual, universal laws. Now, these laws are not written anywhere. There is proof of them along the history, in the Oriental beliefs, in Buddhism, in Hinduism, in yoga. The Hermetic principles are also touching on these spiritual laws. So everything that you see in history stands at the basis of these 12 spiritual laws as we present them in the courses, in the bundles with Transformation Academy. So these 12 natural, spiritual, universal laws govern everything and apply to everything, including to us. And more than that, we can see them in nature. We can see them around us all the time. And what I want you to know is that some laws are fixed in the way that they apply the same way to all of us. And some laws are movable, they're flexible, which means that we have the control over the point of attraction, over that space that we are in, that controls the application, the efficient application of these laws in our lives. We have free will. God gave us free will. The universe, it's based on our free will, our desire to work towards expansion. So, with that being said, I want you just briefly to have the list of the 12 universal laws. You can take pictures of them. You're going to have them in the recording. We have the law of divine oneness, the law of vibration, the law of correspondence, the law of polarity, the law of rhythm, the law of cause and effect, the law of gender, the law of perpetual transmutation of energy, the law of relativity, the law of attraction, the law of inspired action, and the law of compensation. So for tonight's workshop, I want us to talk about one of the laws that when I finally got it, when I understood this law, my whole life has changed. And because it was so powerful for me, I want to present it to you tonight. And I want to show you how you can apply this law in your life. And that law is the law of perpetual transmutation of energy, or how I like to call it, the alchemical power, the alchemy law, right? So what this law says is very simple. It says that energy transmutes, transforms, and it's in continuous metamorphosis. It's in continuous change. Nothing stagnates. We already said that, right? But nothing stays the same. Everything is in movement, but everything is also in transformation, right? So from one form to another, energy evolves, moves, transforms, and continues to exist. We already know from physics that energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It just flows and it transforms. So I want us to think of a few examples from nature. Let's think of just what I chose in this picture, the leaves. The leaves falling in the fall, right, in the autumn season, falling from the trees. What happens with these leaves? They land on the ground and they form this beautiful carpet. But at a physical level, a chemical level, they start decomposing. They decompose and they become a nutritious carpet to the life that's underneath, that stays warm and stays safe during winter, right? So the leaves falling, it's serving a change in energy. It's serving a purpose. Again, when they were in the tree, they were doing photosynthesis. They were helping the tree to live, to grow, to breathe, to feed, yes, with the light from the sun. The leaves, the same leaves, were transforming energy from the sun into food for the creating oxygen into food for the tree and in feeding the air, the ozone, right? And then when they fell, we think, oh, they died. No, they did not die. They transformed as well. Let's look at other examples. What happens to our bodies when we transition? Same thing. We decompose, we transform. Energy does not get to die, it just changes. One of the most beautiful examples of energy transmutation in nature, it's water. Let's look at what happens with water. Water can be seen in nature as liquid, right? In lakes, in the oceans, in rivers. It can be seen as liquid, but then when the heat comes, it evaporates. It transforms into vapor, which again, in certain conditions, when the rain falls, it transforms again into liquid. Rain also can transform into snow under certain conditions. So also water can be under the shape, the form of ice. So you see how one natural element, water, it's the same energy and it can exist under the form of solid as ice, liquid as water as we know it, and vapor, air, as clouds. So very, 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 very interesting. And also water, when we drink it, right, it transforms into a vital nutrient for us. We cannot live without water, so then it becomes part of our body and then it gets eliminated and so forth. So leaving nature aside, even though we are a big part of it, let's focus on humans, on us humans. Let's talk of us. How can we use this energy transmutation law in our life on purpose with intention for manifestation? Let's look at our thoughts, right? Our thoughts that we think every single day, are a huge power that we have, a huge energetical power. What happens many times, as I said before, our subconscious mind controls 95% of our thoughts, of our thinking. And unfortunately, for most of this time, we're actually unaware of this happening. So lots of our energy goes to thoughts which we do not even need. More than that, they actually are bad for us. I mean, they do not help us evolve, grow, be the best version of ourselves. These thoughts hold us back. These thoughts are based on fear, they're based on worries, they're based on insecurity, on our self-perception, lack of self-worth, based on the paradigms that we grew up with from childhood, right? So thoughts have an amazing power. Also because thoughts are at the basis of our emotions. What we think, we normally associate emotion to. And so based on emotion, what did I say earlier? We act. Our emotional mind, the subconscious mind, gives the body commands. We act based on emotions. Therefore, everything that we do throughout our day, it is based on emotion. Even if you are at work and you're thinking, no, I'm actually doing things that I'm supposed to do. I need to do this. It's a logical course of action. This is the next logical step. Guess what? If we dig deeper and I'm asking you, why are you at work? Why are you doing this job? Oh, I'm doing it because I want a salary. Why do you need a salary? I need a salary because I want to have a decent life. Why do you have to have a decent life? Why do you want that? Oh, because I want to afford to have vacations and have nice meals and have a decent car and live in comfort. Why do you need to do that? Because it feels good. So see how we got to the emotion? We are always getting to emotions. So just keep that in mind. If you are asking enough whys, you're going to dig deeper and you're going to find the emotion at the base of anything you do, as logical as it may seem at first sight, right? So emotions are at the base of our actions. We act based on our emotions, clearly. And then what happens? When we act, we get some results, right? Yes, our current results, our reality in life, it's based on the way we acted, on what we did, based on how we felt, based on how we thought. So this is a formula that if you understand and if you start to become aware of it, you're going to understand that how you think, it is vital for manifestation. It's vital for living a good life. So let's see how we can apply this law of energy transmutation in the daily life. Efficiently, willingly, with intention for manifesting what we want. So the first thing to do is to look at here and now. Look around you and see what are your current results. Look at whatever is important to you, financial, emotional, relationship-wise, career-wise, right? For my sake of my example, because many people, even multimillionaires, want this, I'm going to tell you, let's look at the bank account. Let's think of your bank account. If you look at the reality on your bank statements, you may actually like it or not. So you're going to associate, wanting or not, an emotion to those results. You're going to associate an emotion to what you see in your bank account. Are you happy with that? Are you unhappy? Are you satisfied? Are you frustrated? How are you feeling about your bank account? And then take them one by one. How are you feeling about your relationships? How are you feeling about your career? How are you feeling about your business? See where you stand right now. Identify the emotions, yes? Why is this important? Because looking at what you have right now as current results, if it's not something that you want, if you want something more, something better, you're going to experiment to witness a contrast. It's your exposure to contrast. right? When you look at something that is not quite as you wanted, you want something else, then you already got exposed to this contrast, and automatically a new desire of a positive opposite of what you see, it's going to be formed. So my advice is not to dwell on the things you observe and you do not like. Just see them and now create this new desire, right? I know that I have $5,000 a month and I want an income of $50,000 a month or 100,000. Step 2 is to decide where would you like to be, right? You know where you are now, but now forget about where you are now. You know it. Take your emotions and attention from that and focus on where you want to be. And dream big. What is your biggest dream? Dream like there is no cap. Yes? What is that vision of your ideal situation in that aspect of your life? How much money do you really want? No limits. No limits. The only limits that exist are the limits that you impose onto your imagination, just as Bob Proctor used to say, yes? So no limits, dream big. Your subconscious mind, when you start dreaming big, is going to be like, that's so unrealistic. What are you doing? And I'm telling you, dream bigger, bigger. So now that you have an idea of where you want to be, what do you want? Now it's time to fall in love with that image. Fall in love with this new you, with this new idea. Insist on the images and the thoughts about what you desire and get emotionally involved with this. Like literally fall in love. In the moment in which you fall in love, and this is your constant energy throughout the day, not paying attention to your current results, to what it is, but falling in love with what you want and also with you. Who are you? This person living your ideal life. Who are you? This person who is a millionaire. Who are you? Right? Get emotionally involved with that. Start visualizing, visualize, fall in love with it, and repeat until it becomes second nature. This is how you reprogram your subconscious mind, by repetition, just how it got programmed in the first place, right? So you have to become this person. That's why I said be and feel that you already have all that you want. Just like Neville Goddard said in The Power of Your Awareness, right? In that book, assume the emotion of the fulfilled desire. Assume it like it happens now. This is the key to manifestation. And if you assume that emotion, you cannot see it as the spectator from outside the situation. You must be involved in it. You are the main character of what you're visualizing on the screen of your mind. So see yourself there. And then the next step will be to be open and allow to receive guidance from above, because we have, I've told you at the beginning, we have this voice in our heads. It's called intuition. And this voice allows us to connect to the supraconscious part of our mind at any time. The only thing that stops us from doing that on a regular basis is that we cannot quiet subconscious and conscious mind. But through meditation, through intuitive meditation, getting to hear your intuition, you can actually do this on a regular basis. And it's going to give you some information that your conscious, your rationale, and your subconscious mind have no idea, they have no access to. So this is how you manifest. And then you study more, you grow, you do what you're meant to do. Evolve at a spiritual, at a mental, and at a physical level, because we do live on the 3 levels. You cannot neglect any one of them. So focus on all of them. offer attention to what is really important and what really feeds your soul. And first of all, this must be understanding of who you are and how you relate to this universe. It's all one consciousness. It's all one spirit that we're all part of, right? And then if you need to, of course, hire a coach, hire a mentor to help you with this. Sometimes being held accountable from the outside of us, it is invaluable. It is literally it has such value that we cannot put a price on it. So if you need any help, if you need any kind of assistance in starting to manifest, in applying in your life, we have programs which are meant to help you with that. They are not, day by day programs. These changes are going to take time, but we have 6-month programs. We have retreats. We have things that will help you set the pace so you can do your transformation. So thank you so much. I hope this is very helpful and you get to apply this practically in your life. And I'm going to let my soul sister Therese take it from here and tell you all about the law of attraction and how you can apply this in your life to manifest the best, most beautiful, most fulfilling relationships ever.
Is most people think that, like, for example, so I want to see, like, little show of hands. How many people first discovered the concept of law of attraction from the movie The Secret? I see maybe a couple here and there. Okay. All right. And in the movie The Secret, it's very much talked about focusing exclusively on affirmations and visualizing, which that, as Sanda just mentioned, is an essential piece of the pie. But what a lot of people don't understand about law of attraction is we have what's called a point of attraction. And that point of attraction is a multifaceted thing. What happened with a lot of people when they discovered law of attraction is they were doing their affirmations and visualizing and doing all that. But they're like, but wait a minute, where's my stuff? Where's my sweetheart? Where's the money? Why isn't my body getting better? What the hell? And what they didn't realize is there's a lot more going on than strictly on the surface. And as Sanda mentioned, there are 12 universal laws that are all connected to being who you are and how you express as a physical, three-dimensional human being in this world. But your point of attraction is actually a multifaceted thing that consists of 3 different aspects. Number 1, your beliefs. Your beliefs about general things or about specific subjects that have been in motion. Number 2, momentum. How you have been focusing on any particular subject, your overall attitude and belief about a subject over a period of time. And then number 3, what you're doing now, how you feel now. And so what a lot of people did is they kept working on how they felt now. But when they would bump into some of those limiting thoughts and beliefs, or they were just thinking in a fearful or negative way for such a long time that they hadn't quite made the shift into truly embodying that emotion. So first of all, I want to jump in here because in one of the courses on Transformation Academy, that's also part of the bundle that we'll talk about a little bit today at the end, in the Law of Attraction bundle, is a course called Onward, Upward, and Forward. And in that course, I talk about the idea that if you've been going through something really challenging, really difficult, maybe it's grief, maybe it's bankruptcy, maybe it's health challenges, whatever it is, those things don't change instantaneously. It takes time to start cultivating those new beliefs and those new ideas and feeling those emotions. And give yourself a break if you don't manifest the thing that you want in 3 seconds flat. Because the first thing that needs to happen is you need to stop feeding the old momentum. So something that I mentioned when the email went out is I would share the magic formula for manifesting anything. And here is what this is. You have to first stop focusing in a way that you see the absence of something, and then begin focusing in a way to where the presence of what you want becomes more dominant. And again, this takes a little time, but the thing is, you can literally start changing the way you focus in a day, and in the same day, and even in a matter of seconds in some cases, by just focusing in the slightest different way. You can literally start calling experiences and manifestations to you. And at the end of my little piece, I'm going to give you 3 tools that you can start working with immediately, so you could start actually letting that happen. So when it comes to allowing love, money, health, experiences, anything that matters to you, one of the very first things that you need to do is to shift your emotional state. Now, when you're in a place, and Sanda made such a great point about this, when you're in a state of feeling lack, of feeling loss, of feeling lonely, or any of those kinds of emotions, you can affirm and you can visualize, but if what's actually going on with you is a feeling of lack, lonely, missing, the absence of what you want, the law of attraction, as we mentioned, your point of attraction is multifaceted, is actually responding to that. So interestingly enough, even with affirming, even with visualizing, if you're not doing that from a place of clarity and from a place to where you have allowed yourself to go to a neutral emotional state first, to then what I call is breathe, is one of the quickest ways that I do that. And we actually even did this just before we started with you guys today. As I stop, I typically take 3 slow, deep breaths, and I call that breathe, to bring the train of thought into the station. Breathe. Just let's do that right now. Go ahead and close your eyes for a moment. Take a nice, slow, deep breath in right here. And exhale. Another slow, deep breath in. And exhale. Feel your neck, shoulders, muscles relax. And one more slow, deep breath in. And exhale. And right now, I want you to think of something you love. Your favorite animal, your favorite food, your favorite place in the world. And open your eyes. But just that simple shift, which interrupts a pattern of negative thought, it just brings the train back into the station. You can then choose a new train of thought, like we just did. And the key when we talk about momentum is to, as soon as you start to feel a shift in your body, and it usually starts like right in the back of your neck, in your shoulders, you start to feel that little bit of tension just starting to creep in as you're thinking a thought, because we all have this amazing built-in compass. I call it your inner compass, or I expert, that will always inform you as whether or not you're focusing on the presence of what you want or the absence, whether you're moving toward what you want or away from it. So if you're starting to move away from what you want, you start to feel the tension in your body. So rather than that thought continuing, or that conversation continuing, or that action continuing to move you away from what you truly want and how you truly want to feel, this is the perfect time to slow that train down, stop and breathe if you can. And if you're in the middle of a conversation with a person that you can feel this is not going well, you can always excuse yourself to use the restroom. Or, I am so sorry, a call just came in, a text just came in on my phone, excuse me for a moment. You have permission to be able to choose your state of being. But if you stay in a situation or an experience that doesn't feel good to you, you are then handing over your vibration to another experience or another person. And that is something that, again, we have so much more control over than we realize. Now, the optimal state for allowing, receiving the good that you want to experience is love. And when people hear the word love, a lot of times you think Hallmark movies and you see people being all sweet and affectionate with each other. You think about romance and all of that. And that is simply an expression of love. But let me tell you, friends, love in its purest sense is clarity. Love is a feeling that nothing is missing. When you feel love, you have energy in your body. You feel alive. You feel clear. You get good ideas. You look at the people, the animals, the environment, the experiences, wherever. If you're standing in that moment and you are in a state of love, everything looks right and good to you. And when you really want to take advantage of using visualization to be able to magnetize that, to really draw, attract, and allow the things you want in your life to you sooner rather than later, rather than visualizing from a place of lack, of trying to fix something that's broken or fill something in that's missing, before you do any of that, I want to encourage you to do whatever you can to get into that state of love, because everything that we want, my friends, everything, whether it's more money, whether it's the perfect relationship, whether it's better health in our body, again, experiences, opportunities, travel, whatever that is all based around feeling like that. So if you can find a way to feel like that now, feeling that sense that in this moment, life freaking rocks. Nothing is missing. There is nowhere else. You know, what's that great song? There's nowhere I'd rather be. That song, right? When you're in that state where there's nowhere you'd rather be than right here, right now, you, my friends, are a magnet for everything that is good in your life. Now, I mentioned sharing some new paradigms. When it comes to the subject of love, as we mentioned, now we understand love is the optimal state for manifesting, attracting, and allowing anything and everything. Okay? But when we bring relationships into the picture, sometimes something happens to love. Then instead of participating in an experience of love to where I am whole and complete, you're whole and complete, I'm in a state of connection and alignment and clarity, you're in a state of connection and alignment and clarity, there's this other thing that can come up called attachment. And not just with relationships, we become attached to outcomes. We become attached to needing a certain amount of money or needing certain things to change with our body in order to be okay. And when we're in that place of attachment, that's when we slow the whole attracting process down. So I want to share a little paradigm that has helped me tremendously when it comes to especially relationships. And really, it's something you can apply to your dreams and desires as well. I call it finding love in the garden. And so what happens, let's just say you have this beautiful garden filled with flowers, and you're a person who loves butterflies. And so you happen to look out into your garden and spot the most spectacular butterfly you've ever seen. And so sometimes what we do, without meaning to, is we go get our little butterfly net so we can capture that butterfly and hold on to it, because we want that butterfly to be in our garden all the time. It's the most beautiful butterfly we've ever seen. It makes us smile when we see it. It lights up our world. So therefore, I must have this butterfly. And we take this butterfly and we stick it in a little box, a little cage of some kind, so that we can see it and we can have it and we can be with it every single day. But maybe we're nice about it. Maybe it's a lucite cage so the butterfly can see out. Of course, we put food or flowers in the thing for the butterfly, so the butterfly can see the garden and all of that. But let me ask you, if you love a butterfly, would you want to stick it in a cage and have it live there for the rest of its life? No. And sometimes when we connect with people we really, really love and adore, without meaning to, we do that. We start demanding that they be everything we need them to be for us all the time. And we do everything we can to keep them in our lives. And the thing about, we talk about transmutation of energy. Everything is in a state of constant motion and change. And so every being is coming and going, ebbing and flowing in life. So to try to demand that any one being stand still for the purpose of making us happy is the very opposite of love. And that's something a lot of people in relationships don't quite understand. Maybe they do, of course, at a deeper level. But a lot of people, because they're operating from that place of attachment, and we've all done it, all of us have done it, we try to control that butterfly. And control is the opposite of love. So here's what I did to shift that. And again, when you have long-standing relationships with a spouse, with family, again, momentum may take a moment to change this. But as soon as I started thinking about every person in my life as a butterfly, it started to shift the energy. And rather than demand that a specific butterfly stay in your garden for all eternity, when you really, really love something, you want it to thrive. You want it to live its life to the fullest, to its fullest expression, its fullest experience of joy. Parents, especially, we want that for our children. Yes, big time. That's the perfect example of that. So when I started seeing all of my family and friends, even my husband, who I've been with for 23 years, as one of those beautiful butterflies, and allowing them to follow their flight pattern, it started to lighten that energy up for me. And here's the thing, your job, if you want to always have beautiful butterflies in your garden, and especially that favorite butterfly of yours, your job is to tend to your garden. Plant the flowers, water those flowers. By that meaning, follow what feels good to you. What keeps you well? what feeds your joy, what feeds your energy. That's how you tend to your garden. Because now when you do that for yourself and you find yourself in that state of love, as we mentioned, the optimal state for manifesting, attracting, allowing everything, receiving, every butterfly in town is going to want to be in your garden. And those butterflies aren't just relationships and your favorite butterfly, of course, but those butterflies are opportunities, are dreams being realized, are your body healing itself, you finding the perfect person, the perfect modality, the perfect coach, the perfect friends, the perfect time, the perfect place, because you're tending to your garden. So that is your mission if you want to attract and allow a relationship that's based around true, authentic love, because that's one of the reasons why my husband and I are still together after 23 years, is we have never tried to capture either one of the other to put in any kind of a container. My husband, I encourage him to go where he's called to go, to do what makes him feel good. I don't force him to do anything. We don't do tit for tat. So on that note, another new paradigm, and this is something that you almost never hear when it comes to relationships: no compromise. Instead, we build bridges and we harmonize with each other. For example, I am a person that's very high energy. And so when we get out to exercise together, there are a lot of times I want to run. My husband, not so much. It doesn't feel good to him. He doesn't enjoy it. It's not his jam. So this is how we work that. We still want to be with each other and enjoy being outside together. So what we do, we start out together. And when I feel it's like time for me to amp it up, he's like, all right, go girl, you go girl. So I go, I walk fast, I run, but then I circle back around when I want time for me to rest and catch my breath. And then I walk side by side with him for a bit. And then if it's time, off I go, I'll do my thing again. But this is why this works so beautifully. And that's just a tiny example, but this is how we live our lives. I don't hold myself, my energy, my dreams, my visions, my intentions back, ever. And I don't demand that he does more than he's ready for, that's good for him, that is supportive for his well-being. And when you build bridges where you allow yourself to be you, you allow your partner to be who they are, and allow each person to do what comes naturally to them, and then meet in the areas that come naturally. You never have to compromise anything, ever. It sounds weird, it sounds unrealistic, but that is how I have lived my relationship life with my husband for 23 years. And that is why we are so ridiculously happy with each other, because I celebrate him being him. He celebrates me being me. We both have our inner compasses calling us, and sometimes calling us to do different things at different moments. But we always find that bridge where we meet, where we can do things that we absolutely both enjoy together. Another paradigm I want to share, and I want to keep my eye on the time to respect your time tonight, guys, is authenticity. And here's an interesting thing. When it comes to a law of attraction, to attract and allow anything that matters to you, or to have your ideal partner in your life, or to have just any kind of relationships, whether it's a business relationship, whether it's friendships, to flow. When you show up as you, it benefits everyone. And when you're asking for intentions, when you're asking from a place of something that you genuinely want, Not just that you're told that that you should want, your culture is telling you that you should want, or your family is telling you should want, or your job is telling you should want. When you create an intention from a place of authenticity, basically in a little statement that I use so I can assess whether or not I'm coming from a place of authenticity. When you think, speak, and act from a place of authenticity, energy grows and life flows. And when it comes to relationships, I'll add this little piece. When in a relationship, you think, speak, and act from a place of authenticity, connection grows and love flows. How many people start a relationship wanting to be on their best behavior and do all the proper things that you should do when you meet someone, and dress a certain, you find out what are their favorite things and you do all their favorite things, and so that you get them to like you and da 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 da. And then you get into a relationship, and then you get into this kind of, well, let's just say, my guy is obsessed with golf. And that's not the case with my husband, by the way. But let's just say, you're dating a guy, they're obsessed with golf. Honestly, it's not your thing at all. And so you start dating someone and you're like, oh, I love golf. And you start playing golf and you go to the golf things. And if you were just neutral about it, it's always good to explore and let your partner introduce you to new things, because that's part of the joy of being in a relationship, is that expansion and exploring new things, right? But if you know for sure that you hate playing golf and you go along with it, guess what, friends? The journey is the destination. And you will continue to be on a golf course in that relationship, or know that your partner will continue to be on a golf course for a good percentage of time, especially if their career is a professional golfer. So if you're cool and okay with that, letting them be the professional golfer and go forth and golf, baby, I'll see you when you get home, that's excellent. But if you show up as you right away, and you're honest about who you are, your core values, what you love, what you don't love so much, and you're willing to support someone else in being authentic and doing the things they love, then you flow naturally. That's why so many people talk about relationships and marriage is hard work. If you're doing it right, it is not. My relationship with my husband is the easiest freaking thing I do. It's the easiest, most peaceful, most joyful aspect of my life, because we do not play those games with each other. We are both authentic. And on a business side, how many times have you gone to YouTube and there's a subject line saying, lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks, and you're like, what? And you click on that video, and the video has nothing to do with that subject at all. So are you going to then like and subscribe to that person's video and that channel? No. In most cases, you're going to be pissed off and you are never going to click on a video from that person ever again, because they misrepresented who they are. And when you are wanting to connect with your ideal partner, if you show up as you from the beginning, you encourage them to show up as them and let them know that is good. And you connect with each other from that place, even a coach to a client. That if there are certain values for you as a coach that really matter, a certain type of client that you know really is your match, let your client know about that right away, so that when you work together, it flows and it's easy for you to create together. So let me fast forward. I want to give you 3 tools that you can leave with tonight, so you can start connecting with this energy of love and start manifesting, attracting, allowing as soon as today. All right. Number one, we all want to be in that state of love because that is the optimal state for attracting, manifesting, allowing, yes? So when you're done with this call tonight, I want you to write a list of at least 10 things you love. And not anything with mixed emotion. 10 things that are ridiculously easy to love. I know in a lot of cases, our pets, for example. I know Sanda has 2 beautiful pooches that are, oh my God, they are just the most amazing dogs in the universe. I have my magical girl, this sweet, beautiful cat that, oh my God, I cannot think about magic without smiling. So I want you to think of things like that. And then even things like your favorite food. What's a great quote that I don't know who said it, but there's nothing more sincere than the love of food. And that is so true. You think of your favorite food, you cannot help but smile, right? And then you think about those beautiful places that you've been in your lives or a beautiful experience that made you feel alive. So 10 things. I want you to make a list of 10 things, right? Number 2, I want you to make a list of 10 things you love to do. Things that when you do them, it is so easy to be fully present and in the moment doing those things, that those things are your jam, that you are vibing when you do those things. For me, I love to hike. I love to dance. I love to create. As I mentioned, I'm a musician and a songwriter. I love to create music. I love to perform. I love beating on my drums. So 10 things for you genuinely love to do. And I want you to choose. And once you create those 2 lists on the things to do, I want you to choose at least one thing from that things you love to do list that you can insert into your day every day. Even if it's 5 minutes, just sliding something in that you love is giving you 5 minutes of alignment that is bringing you into that place. And then this is an awesome thing. You do that thing that you love, or you get out that list of the 10 things that you really, 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 really love, and you focus on that for just a minute. Then you close your eyes and you visualize, and then watch how quickly law of attraction can bring those amazing things to you. And the third tool that I want to present you with today, as we know, the magic formula is practicing the presence of what you want more than the absence of it. There is a process that I use with all of my coaching clients, and actually it's in all of the courses that are in the Law of Attraction bundle. And it's something that I will mention that I'm sharing my email address with you guys, that I will send you the exact form that I use, but it's a form where you start your day with a powerful affirmation, end your day with an affirmation. And this is something free that I will give to you when you email me. Your mission while you are living your life is to focus on every good thing that presents itself to you during the day. Whether, who knows, maybe tomorrow when you're up and about and you're outside, maybe the first thing you see is a butterfly, right? When you see your favorite numbers, when someone does something really cool for you, when you see one of those things that you love being represented, when you're just driving in your car, you see like a dragonfly on a billboard, or you see a special little message that says you're amazing, or someone buys you a cup of coffee. I want you to make it a mission to be kind of like a detective as you go through your day and make some kind of note, whether you take pictures of things throughout the day, you write it on the list that piece of paper I'm going to send to you, you record a little video, you record audios to yourself of like, oh my God, the most amazing thing happened today. So with that, I'm going to share a quick story, and then I'm going to throw the ball back to Sanda. One of the things I wanted to manifest this year was a trip to Europe. I've been wanting to go for years, but for some reason I was feeling like, not really sure when, where, how that's going to happen, but I think it's time to go to Europe. Would be really cool if there was a way that that could happen. And so I put the intention out there and I just went forth living my life, doing everything I could to be in that high vibration state of love. And out of nowhere, I received an invitation to participate in a spiritual and music festival that was going to be happening in Romania. Long story short, unfortunately, that festival ended up getting postponed. But right behind that, my dear friend I'm talking to tonight, who she's going to talk about this in a moment, is offering a retreat in Romania. And because of my work schedule and everything else going on, I just didn't think it would be feasible to be able to go. I've been wanting to go to Romania because Sanda's been talking about it since the day I met her. We have to go. I've seen pictures of it. I've been blown away. And I'm like, I have to go to Romania at some point. Long story short, without even trying, I am now going to Romania. All expenses paid. And I'm going to be participating in a retreat with my two favorite soul sisters of all time. So with that, I'm going to throw the ball over to Sanda. And I do want to mention that as soon as she talks a little bit about that, we're going to open up to Q&A for you guys. But before I do that real quick, I just want to mention to you about our Law of Attraction bundle that Transformation Academy is offering to you right now. Our courses usually retail for $197 per course, but Natalie and Joelle at Transformation Academy have put 4 of our courses together for you, including the amazing Universal Laws course that gets so much deeper than what Sandy was able to share in this very short period of time that you're going to absolutely freaking love. She gets into a course about manifesting abundance. We also have a lot of my master class with Natalie and Joelle about law of attraction and allowing success. And then you'll get to choose between attracting and manifesting love or onward, upward, and forward. And this particular bundle, you get to take 70% off, and you will have a Master Law of Attraction Coach certification with this that you can use as incredible credibility going forward. And of course, our friends at Transformation Academy will send you those links, etc. But if you would like to receive the tool that I talked about, the Attracting True Love Daily, it's called, and another bonus tool that I call the Love Manifesto that will put you into that state of love. It's one of those things that's quick and easy to do. Email me, and it's allowingyoursuccess@gmail.com. And I believe you'll receive that once you get a little follow-up message. So on the note of the retreat, I am so unbelievably excited to throw the ball back to my soul sister, Sanda. So tell us more, my friend, about
Thank you. Thank you so much, Therese. Thank you so much for the beautiful law of attraction applicable lesson and all the tools that you offered us. They're amazing. I'm just going through the messages, and I know I'm going to tell you about the retreat. So I didn't tell you at the beginning, but last year, speaking of manifestation and the law of attraction, last year, I actually received this very inspired guidance, right? Because I cannot call it otherwise. I don't know how to call it other than that.
God, shut up.
No, thank you. Thank you. So last year, I started through meditation, receiving this guidance towards Romania. I'm originally from Romania, like I've told you from the beginning, but I've lived in the United States for 20 years. And the guidance was that I need to go to Romania, which I did. I drove around the country looking for something. I couldn't tell what it was, but I knew there was something there for me. More specific, of course, it was fun to watch, to meet family and friends and all that. So I've always dreamed of having my own retreat. I've always loved to travel. I love mountains. I love the sea. I'm in Florida. So to me, this whole manifestation has happened within a year, to where now I have an educational platform, which is called Satori Romania. Even the name came to me inspired by reading Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now. I mean, it was just everything kind of lined up. I felt like I'm in front of a big puzzle, and I don't even have to move anything because the puzzle pieces are moving on their own when I'm just focusing on them. So this is exactly how this retreat has happened. And the first edition of it has happened in June, and it was for Romanians in the Romanian language, and it was amazing. The retreat, it's in the mountains, and it's very small in the way that we cannot have many participants. We can only have a handful of people. And so we have a few spots. I think there are 5 or 6 left. We have these little cabins, so people are sharing a cabin. So one person is upstairs, one person is downstairs. We're going to have, like, I met these people in Romania. I met this extrasensorial therapist who introduced me and initiated me in intuitive meditation. And to me, that like changed my life. I literally have healed traumas in the last month as I haven't healed in the last 20 years. So this wonderful person, more than the fact that he's teaching me and he's helping me, he offered complimentary intuitive meditation sessions in this retreat. So just like, and then Therese and Natalie are coming, and it's like, whoa, it's just a dream come true. It's like a manifestation dream for me. I dreamed this much, and then because I stayed open, the law of attraction, I stayed in love with the idea, and I was like, exactly what she said, what Therese said, do not fall in love with what you want, but do not get attached to the outcome. Because if I would have said, like, being stressed about, like, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, and I'm going to like just put all my effort into it, I'm actually putting barriers. The law of attraction is now working for me that way. So the retreat, it's amazing. We have a few spots open. If you are interested in coming with me, it's just a handful of people, and we'll love to have you. So just follow the link that Hannah put in the chat and get in touch. We're very, very, I'll tell you right now, picky. We're very picky with who's coming with me. We have people who are positive. We are choosing. We're very picky. But because you guys are here, because you are our friends, clients, I don't even know how to call you to not be, like, to not say it wrong, because we love your energy, and I became much more open to feeling energy. I know you a little bit right now, just energetically speaking. And so we are opening this to you, but we are still going to have a one-on-one chat. We're going to have, a little talk before the registration happens. So if you are interested, if there's something for you, this is happening in Transylvania, Romania, in September 11th through the 17th. We're going to be there. So if you want more details, we're going to give you that in the chat. There is a link there. So let us know. Like Therese said, we have these wonderful courses, wonderful bundles that are on a very good sale right now. So we're loving, if you're already, I saw some of you already taking this courses. I'm so happy with the universal laws and with the law of attraction and with the rest of our courses in a bottle, because I'm just missing them right now. The manifestation and abundance course is the onward up for a forward course in there too, Therese?
Yeah, so there are, there's, so
Perfect.
there
Okay.
are 5
I
courses
love that course.
and you get to choose 4.
Awesome. Yes, I wasn't sure because I looked at the bundle shortly, but yes, I love the energy. I love that course. So if you feel this is something for you, our doors are open and we get to meet each other and spend a week together in person in my country of Romania. So that will be
We'll
awesome.
have a great time.
I'm super excited. So with that being said, I want us to take a look at your questions. We are here. Yes, and you go, it's all paid expense. Well, for Therese it is. But hey, you know, she manifested that, so good for her. Yeah, let's see. I have here a list. Yes, if you have any other questions for us, we are open to take questions now. Please leave the questions in the chat. And let me see what questions we already have. And thank you so much for sticking till now. The first question I see here, what happens when someone has a karma debt? Do you want to take this, Therese, or you want me to do it?
So when it comes to karma, there are different ways of looking at that. And actually, that is one of the universal laws. There's a different way of looking at karma that I think maybe breaks it down a little more, that it really is about momentum. That if there has been some past momentum in your life of something that has been a block, so to speak, then that's something that if you continue to hold on to that, it can continue to slow you down. And a lot of that is tied into belief and whether or not you're worthy, whether or not you've done something wrong, something bad, da 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 da. I mean, all of that is all of it. And as we mentioned, when I talked about the 3 tiers of your point of attraction, a big, big, big piece of that. And when Sandra was talking about superconscious, it's your beliefs. And if you believe that there is something in your past, whether this life or another life, that is interfering in your present, unfortunately, that will be a part of your point of attraction if you continue to feed it. But what is really cool is I very much believe, and I have seen this in my life, that we have free will, that we have the ability to make new choices and make new decisions and create new momentum. We literally can change the course of our lives. For example, with relationships, before I met my husband, my past relationships pretty much were all about, Therese, you're too passionate about your music, your business, you're too much of a free spirit. You'll never be able to be in a committed relationship. That was some mega momentum that I had follow me for a couple of decades, actually 3 decades. And by the time I connected with my husband, you could say that I maybe thought and believed that I had some, and I know I'm reframing it because I have, I've studied Hinduism, I have friends that believe in this particular, but I'm just kind of giving you a different perspective on it. That if I had continued to subscribe to that belief, that is the life I would be continuing to live through now. But because I decided I wanted to choose a different experience, that for me, I value connection and freedom equally. Both of those are necessary in my life. But in order for me to live a full life, I have to feel free. So when I decided that was non-negotiable, and that, you know what, if I'm going to be in a committed relationship, I have to also get to feel free to be and express as me. And anyone who truly loves me would always honor and support that. There's a process that I talk about in the course that gets into how to do that, how to get there, how I did that. But let's just say, because I went through that process, I changed that underlying belief that this is how it just is for me, maybe because of my personality, my zodiac sign, a past life experience, blah, 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 blah. Because I was willing to change that, I changed my reality. And I have been married to the most amazing human being in the freaking universe. Actually, we're celebrating 21 years next month. We've been together 23 years this year. So hopefully that gives you some insight.
So I want to say something about that too, about the karma. In this last month, thank you. Can you please put your microphone on mute, because there's a little bit of I don't know how to say it right now because I'm thinking in Romanian. Anyway, so what I was going to say is that in this last month, I have been healing. I have told you I'm dealing with a lot of healing through this intuitive meditation. And one of the things that came up is literally past karma baggage, right? So it turned out that for me, I was born, like I don't have as much trauma in my life as others do. However, there are some things that I did get literally from before I was born, from my mother and her experiences in her childhood. And then probably there might be some things like abandonment problems from even my grandma, right? So my mom got them, and then I'm dealing with them, and I stayed and I did, intuitive meditation. I'm like, there is nothing in my childhood that will, I mean, there are some things, right? My parents divorced when I was 4. So there are some things I felt abandonment, however, not to the point where my wounds are so very, very deep. So what turns out to be is that when we heal, we actually help past generations heal as well. And not only that, but when we heal, we also stop right there our generational trauma. So it's not going to transfer forward to our kids, right? So it depends. There are different ways of looking at it, but the way we heal, it's by forgiving and by loving, because we cannot forgive anything without love, right? And I will tell you what I've learned in this last month, how I know that I forgive somebody. I know that I forgive somebody 100% when I am thinking of that person. And it doesn't matter if it's in my life or not, but when I'm thinking of that person, I can only think with love, not with tolerance, not with indifference, but with love. And when I do that, I'm healed. So I'm still working on some things. I'm telling you, it's not, like I cannot tell you that I healed quite everything in a month. And there's been so much therapy before that. So, and coaching and all this, I'm working on this for 20 years. However, it's been a great progress. So I just wanted to put that out there. If we forgive, if we love, then we heal past trauma. So this karmic baggage that you're talking about in the question can be left behind, can be erased. And that's how it's done. It's done through love. It's done through love and healing.
So I want to just throw this in real quick, guys, because I know it's a little after at 9:30. So do you mind if we go for another 10 to 15 minutes so we can address more of your questions? Is that cool? Are you okay with that, Sanda?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
cool. Yeah, because
So
we want to hear from you guys, definitely.
Right. So let's see the next question. Is there a book to recommend? I will take this one. Is there a book to recommend to study the 12 universal laws? If you took the course, you're going to see that there are a few recommendations as books goes. There is not one particular book in this whole wide world that has the 12 universal laws in it, and it's going to explain it. Actually, I may write one. However, there is not one right now. You can see different philosophical books. You can see the Hermetic work, right? there are principles from like the ancient times. There are principles from Hinduism, from Buddhism, from all the Oriental, from yoga, right? From the Oriental philosophies and cultures that will have these connections to the universal laws. However, there is not one particular book that has all of these laws. And I will tell you that it was a tough research for me to make. I went a lot on literally like inner guidance with this course. The images that you see in the course, with the human mind expressed and connected at the heart, I literally created them. And you might laugh, but those images come to me after meditation. So it's an original work. So no. Next question. When it comes to focusing more on what I want rather than lack of it, how can I do that without it being delusional? Like without saying I have something that I don't to others. I always get stuck on this. I'm going to answer this first, and maybe Therese wants to continue with it.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Here's how I would look at this. Here's how I see things, right? When it comes to focusing more on what you want rather than the lack of it, right? So we have been taught not to dream. I remember, especially coming from a country like Romania, when I started school, first grade, even before that, right? They were telling us that if we're not focused on what happens in the classroom, if we're not focused on the board, we're like dreaming, flying pigs, stuff like that. We had some sayings in Romania, like we're literally just dreamers. So what happens is, since early age, we were taught to just put a cap to our imagination. But if you think of how we were before that, let's look at all the little kids. Let's look at how much imagination kids have. We are born with this capability of just imagining things. We are not like in the first 7 years of life, we do not have the conscious mind developed. It doesn't even start until around 7, right? So then we have these subconscious and supraconscious minds, which are allowing us to dream. I, as a child, was hiding under my mom's coffee table, and I was having this on and on and on conversations with an invisible thing, right? But it was for years. And then when I started going to kindergarten, I remember my grandma telling me, you have to stop talking to yourself because they're going to think you're crazy. So she told me that so many times. People are going to laugh at you. Other kids are going to make fun of you. People are going to think you're crazy. So stop using your power of connection, because that's exactly what I was doing. That's what every kid has access to. So I'll tell you right now, through your self-love, you're going to realize that imagining things and talking about them, it's okay. You just need to give yourself permission, because it really doesn't matter what others think. If you want to manifest things, then you go ahead and talk about them, imagine them. Start from a good place, just like Therese said. Start from that love. Many famous people who became somebody, Tony Robbins, Bob Proctor. There's so many people who manifested things from nothing, yes, by literally assuming the emotion and telling people, whomever will listen, that they already are multimillionaires. They already have this capability of helping others, even though they didn't have $2 in their pocket. But it doesn't matter that. So if you put too much weight on what other people may think, if people may think you are crazy by saying things that are not true, then I would look into you. I would look into me if I were you, and I would look at where is that little limitation coming from? Because that probably comes, because I had it too. It comes from the environment in which I grew up, right? The society in which I grew up, the culture. Like, oh, do not dream. Don't dream. Focus on reality. Well, I'll tell you the opposite. I think it's very good to dream. Dream and express your dreams. And who is not ready to listen to them will not. But you will find people who are so ready to listen to them and so ready to encourage you. That's what I had to say about it. I've been there, done that. So I hope this helps.
So if I can interject here for a moment. So we did also talk about beliefs and momentum. And when it comes to communicating with other people, I will say this much. For me personally, when I am talking about my big picture things and the expanded things that I'm in the process of creating, those are like precious little butterflies. They're precious gems to me. And so for me, I choose to share those visions and dreams with the people that will nurture that, with the people that will encourage that, and the people that will feed that. But when I'm in conversation with other people that their mind is just not anywhere near that, they can't even wrap their heads around, they don't understand the power of our mind and the power of our focus, rather than getting into detail, if you will, about my big picture things and what I'm doing, I also don't dishonor myself and say, oh, it's nothing. Oh, I'm just working my 9-to-5 job like everybody else. It really is finding that balance when you're interacting with other people of what feels good to you when you're having conversation. Because the last thing you need is getting out in the world and having some, unfortunately, we've all been there, some person that is really wanting to protect you and all of that, throw water on your fire. So the key is you want to stay in that state of focusing on what you want rather than what you don't want. But at the same time, I talked about instead of compromise, you build bridges and you harmonize. Like, for example, if you want to manifest $1 million business, and that is who you are, that's what you feel, it's what you want, it's what you see. Having conversations with people about how crappy the financial world is and how much you're struggling and all that, that doesn't help you at all. And I understand being real, absolutely, because that's, again, my message. One of my message tonight was being authentic, yes? But if you want to feed abundance, talking about lack is taking you in the opposite direction. But you can still have a conversation where you are integrity with your dreams and visions and what you are creating by saying, you know what? Talking to your friends, I've been really fortunate. Life has taken really good care of me. I have a home. I have food. I have the things that I need for me to get through my day every day. And you know what? I really do appreciate that. And I am in the process of doing the things that help me to experience more of that. And I want the same for you. So that is a way to be honest about what you are creating and participate in the energy of what you want, rather than participating in that lower vibration stuff and feeding the lack of what you want. So just wanted to throw that in. It's just kind of a practical, in conversation with the person kind of experience that could help you to hold the high ground for yourself and still be authentic and real. There you go.
Exactly. And then I saw Anita and I saw Deb, they're talking about gratitude, a place of gratitude. Absolutely. Absolutely. If we can start every single conversation with the appreciation and the gratitude and the love that we have this conversation, this opportunity for a conversation with the person who is in front of us, and we do not have any expectations, right? That's the point of attraction. I'm just offering. This is true love as well. True love, it's giving. Yes, we give, we give, we give. And so I will tell you this very short story. What happened this last year? Being in the United States 20 years, for me, the impulse of going back to Romania and opening there a project was extremely enthusiastic. Like, I was very happy about it, but in the same time, I had a million barriers. Why? Because I know how Romanian people think. The reality is that some people can be very critical. And I grew up with a very critical father. So I was very, very scared that if I am going to present myself in front of the Romanian people, right? So think of you this way, like, if you're a coach, many people are very scared to present what they have to offer, to present themselves in front of their communities, right? So that's exactly me. Romania, it's my original community. Now I belong in the United States in many ways, but my roots are still there, right? So I'm thinking, wow, how am I going to do this? I am so scared. There's a lot of fear that I identify in me, lots of barriers, lots of limitations. How am I going to do this? So, you know how you do it? You just go through the fear. You do not wait for the fear to go away, because it's not going to. You just go through the fear with love. So when I created my Satori Romania platform and my social media presences, of course, there were Romanian people who came back to me and they criticized me and they said bad things. But when I am in a place of love and I know that I am authentic, like Therese said, then it doesn't matter, because I'm authentic to myself. I'm honoring myself. I'm going to send my message no matter how it is received. If I'm going to condition my message, my courses, my business based on the clients, which I'm telling you in my business courses, I'm telling you that they are important, and they are important, right? But it's your ideal client that you need to focus on, not everybody else. Obviously, the rest of the people are not your ideal client. So then, just stay authentic. That was the question. That was the answer. Lots of answer, like a long answer from both of us. So thank you so much for your questions. Thank you for being here. Okay, so let's see. This is for Therese. Thoughts on manifesting a specific person without being too attached to an outcome or letting the person feel that we are energetically pulling on them too much. So I will repeat that. So I'm reformulating a little bit. What are your thoughts on manifesting a specific person without being too attached to an outcome or letting that person feel that we are energetically pulling on them too much? I'll tell you right now, my first, I know it's for Therese, but I'll just say two words. Two words that I've learned in the last month about myself is that I had to work on my attachment problems. And that meant I had to work on my abandonment issues, right? My attachment problems came from my abandonment issue, which I didn't know before. So that was my short answer, but I'll let Therese answer more.
So here's the thing, my friend. Every individual person represents a certain energy, certain characteristics that you genuinely deeply appreciate. So here's what I'd like to encourage you to do. I'd like to encourage you to make a list of all of the things that you're drawn to about this person. Why are you connecting to this specific person? So basically, what are all the things about this person that's rocking your world? But the thing is, I very much want to encourage you to focus in on the characteristics, on the energy, and on the kind of connection you want to have with this person or any person. And focus more generally there. And if this person is truly a match to you and your energy, and you continue to focus in a way that's conducive to allowing love into your life, it's only a matter of time before the two of you will connect. But so I'll tell you I'm going to make this a super short story because I know that we've gone a bit long. So before I married my husband, I was with another gentleman that physically looked like he could be my husband's brother. A lot about their personalities are unbelievably similar. This other gentleman's handwriting is identical to my husband. And the place that this other gentleman and I were thinking about getting married turned out to be the place that my husband John and I got married. Because what I did during that relationship, as we were getting closer to our wedding date, some things happened that occurred to me that showed me that person maybe was not the guy. And when I held true to my vision of what I truly wanted in a relationship, how especially, even more than any specific characteristics, what they like, what they look like, what they do for a living, any of that, how I wanted the relationship to feel. When I went there and I found that, that's when I found my husband. So write that list of the things you appreciate about that person. Write also what you want to experience in your relationship, how you want the relationship to feel, and then go about your life. And if you feel inspired to reach out to this person, go with it, of course. But if you approach it from that more general perspective of this is how I want to feel, these are the characteristics I want to enjoy with my partner. If you stay focused, law of attraction will bring you this person or someone even better, just like me. Hope that helps. All right, my friends. So I could do this all night. I love talking about this, but we know that a lot of you guys, we know you're coming from all over the world. Some of you might be up really late, really early. It's a school night.
Yeah, thank you.
So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here, my friends. But thank you so, so much for being a part of this experience and contributing your energy and your love. We do want to encourage you to reach out to Sanda and myself. We have, Sanda has her specific contact information, which I believe you're going to be receiving in the email. Let's see, which is the successcoachingacademy.org is a great way to reach out to Sanda. My website is teresefirewoman.com, where you'll see links to coaching programs, courses, and music. And of course, we are proud instructors on Transformation Academy, and what an incredible platform Natalie and Joelle have created to enable so many people from all over the world to be able to expand their minds, their hearts, their income, their love, their health, their wellness. So just from the bottom of our hearts, my friends, we want to say thank you so much for being a part of this experience. Thank you again for sharing your love. And here's to you manifesting, attracting, and allowing the things that set you and your life on fire. Good night, guys.
Good night. Thank you so much again. We truly appreciate you. Reach out to us if you want to talk. We do offer face-to-face coaching, one-on-one coaching as well. So just keep that in mind. We are available. This is us getting out of our comfort zone and being in front of people, because so far we just recorded things, which is much easier, but now we want to share into the energy. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Good night.